You're building the empire
and we'll help you protect it.
because even the most powerful women
Still have trust issues.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
How you doing today?
I'm good.
Girl,
How are you?
looking fabulous.
You do too, as always, right? I'm loving these pearls. They're cute.
Thank you. I got them from this boutique,
Yes.
Ivy Unique.
Yes. I heard a lot of great things about that one.
I bet you did. I bet you have, since you're one of the proprietors.
Yes.
Well, listen, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Trust Issues. Yeah,
Yes.
this is the podcast where money meets mindset, legal meets legacy, and power meets protection. I am one of the duo, Erica Hall, owner and operator of EH Wealth Advisors. I am the wealth advisor, and I'm here with my girl.
Yes, attorney Urenia Ricks-Johnson, and I am your estate planning attorney, wealth building attorney. I'm here to help you to make sure that things are handled legally while you're trying to get it back.
All right.
And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to answer the question, how can I get it back?
Yeah, we keep talking about these bags, and we ain't talking about no designer bags, right?
We're not talking about those.
Yeah.
No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about getting it back and what that means.
Right, we're talking about your wealth.
Your wealth. And it's not just about quick cash. It's about building something sustainable. And I know you can kind of relate to that because of your everyday dealings with clients and things like that. So explaining to people that it's not just about just getting rich quick or some type of quick cash. What is the bag?
It's really that foundation, laying the strong foundation so that when you start to accumulate, or as you're accumulating income, as you're accumulating resources, I say financial resources because it's not just money. Right? As you're accumulating financial resources, you have those things in place that aren't going to break the bank, that aren't going to put a hole in your bag.
Hole in it, yes.
Yeah.
And then from the legal side, the bag has to be legit.
Yeah.
Right? So even if you have a hustle, you still need contracts, you still need licenses.
Yeah.
You need business protection. So if you have a bag, you need to make sure that you have something to protect your bag.
Yeah.
Right?
So if I was looking in the bag, if I had my imaginary bag here, if I was looking in the bag, I think I would see that there's some kind of cash flow management in the bag. There would be some budgeting in the bag. There would be some kind of systematic way or periodic way of keeping track of everything you have coming in and everything that you have going out. I believe the Bible tells us in that book that's all about wisdom.
Yes.
There's a proverb that says that a man, that you know your flock, you know the state of your flock. It speaks in agricultural terms, but it can be equated to the resources. Whatever that you say is yours, you know the state of it. And so today is our money we have coming in, what we have going out, and what we own.
Yes.
Too, the stuff we own. You know the state of it.
Okay. And let's start about talking about earning more income. A lot of people feel like they can get a bag by earning more income. So let's talk a little bit about some ways to earn income, or just some of the things in the industry right now that's accumulating income.
Yeah. Well, first I think I would define it by what kind of income. So I remember the first time I read Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad. You remember that book?
I remember that book.
And he talks about the 4 different types of income, earned income, and you got the job income, right? You have the income that you get, like passive income. You can be a business owner, and then you also can have just I guess that's 4. Yep, earned income, that passive income, the entrepreneur, and then the business income. So the difference between the entrepreneur and the business is that you have to show up in order to earn the income. If you don't show up, you don't make no money.
You don't make any money, right?
Right.
And we know that as being, because we're entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah,
so we
yeah.
know that can be.
It's all surrounded. It's around you.
It's around you, and then knowing that if you have to treat it like it's your baby, like it's your.
It is my baby.
Your business is something that you have to make sure that if it needs to be fed, you're feeding it.
Yeah.
If it needs to be changed, you're changing it. All those things connected
that's a really
to
good,
it.
That's a really good point.
You have to do that. And we know, because we have children, the magnitude of what happens when you ignore, when you don't treat it right, when you don't take care of it.
Oh, yeah.
What happens?
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So, those are things, but I like when I read the book, what I was most interested in was that passive income.
Oh, my goodness, girl. Yes.
And I think that a lot of times we go through all three of them without never really tapping into the passive income.
Yeah, because passive income is hard to understand and attain all the different ways, right? So people can wrap their minds around earned income, working a job, getting paid W-2 income.
Right.
And then when you have that entrepreneur, you own the business, and it's all surrounding you. You have to show up. And then that third one where you have employees, right, and even you don't have to be there, but you all the time, but you still got to have that oversight, right? Especially if it's a cash business, you don't
make sure.
Yeah, you got to watch that till.
Right.
But that passive income eludes a lot of us because you still got to put in that sweat equity at some point of time in building something up so that it can get to the point where it's generating income on its own.
Right.
Where it doesn't really require.
Really, you have to build it up or take care with it so that way it does produce for you that passive income that you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, that can be real estate. Like being a landlord. It could be your investment portfolio.
Yes.
Investing in real estate, or it can be a business that you started and then you sell it.
Right. And then you let it just go on and you get that residual.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things with the passive income is that residual that keeps going and going from generation to generation. Or it could be a trust.
Yeah. It could be a trust.
It could be a trust, right?
Yeah.
A trust could really be a residual income base. You know, how we're talking about with securing the bag or just even getting a bag. One of the vehicles for getting a bag is actually having a trust.
Yeah.
And building up that wealth within a trust where you can actually make distributions during your lifetime and actually distribute upon death as well. But it's a vehicle for establishing that passive income on a regular basis because it can grow. You could put investments in trust. It could be one of the vehicles, right?
Yeah, true. So if I were to go back to the first question you asked about, so what if working a job, working a 9-to-5 or having a great career is the path that you take. You decided that you're not going to be the entrepreneur, or entrepreneur is just not your wheelhouse.
And that's not for everybody.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Some people just want to work that job, build it up with that job. They love their job, or even if they don't necessarily love it, it's just they're being sustained through that job.
Yeah,
right?
And you have responsibilities and so on and so forth. And let's just be honest, our matriculation through grade school, high school, college is to help you develop to have a career, right?
That's right.
To work a job so that you can be a contributing person, member of society, right? Right. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of us. And so I was reading the 2025 Future of Jobs report, and it noted that nearly 23 jobs worldwide are expected to change by 23% of jobs worldwide are expected to change and shift by 2027, with the demand growing in AI, sustainability, business development, and educational roles.
Right. So, from the standpoint of how to get a bag, that is a great statistic to start looking into, because you got to think about actually getting a bag, you have to think about what industry is going to help to make sure that I'm able to get a bag and not have holes in it. we talked about, right?
Yeah.
Where it's not going to be something that's going to be able to sustain me.
Right.
And I'm not willing to be flexible.
And learn.
Yes.
Learn AI or IA. I've heard people, know.
AI, IA, whatever you like to call it. Right?
Intelligence that's artificial. I'm not going to knock nobody because you know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. But let's not be afraid of it, right? Let's not be afraid of it because it's here. It's going to be a part of the future. It's going to affect how we do our job, how we live. I'm laughing because I went to an event last Saturday, girl, and I got to show you the video. But I went to an event last Saturday, and I'm sitting at the dinner. It's probably a 10 top at the event, and this guy, Art Cartwright, he brings in his robots. He's been showing them. Have you seen them downtown?
I've seen them downtown.
Yeah.
I've seen pictures. And at first I thought that even the robots downtown that they were showing, I thought that was AI generated. I couldn't fathom that this was actually happening, right? So I was just like, oh, that's just AI. It could not have been these robots downtown Detroit.
Listen, y'all. If you have become a victim of not believing anything you see on television, that's me. So I didn't believe it, but I get to this event last week,
it made you a believer.
And he walks over near my table, and I call him he, but it's a robot. The robot walks over near my table, and so I took a video.
Does the robot speak?
The robot didn't speak, but he was. It was. It was waving at the crowd. And then now it was being controlled by the remote control, but it started running across the floor, and some people at my table was like, "Uh-oh," feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Right.
And so can you just imagine? This is the approach that people take with artificial intelligence. I don't feel safe. My information is not protected. Now, this is my quote right now, but I don't know how long it's going to be true. Okay. My quote is, AI is not going to replace you today, but someone who uses AI may replace your job. Right?
And that's a really good way to put it, because you can't not be afraid of it. You have to understand and embrace it as here.
Yeah.
Because like we talked about before, I think on a previous episode, it is something that can actually assist you. And if you're open to the assistance and understanding that you still have to think.
Yeah. You do.
You still have to do some things because you still have to tweak some things. You cannot do that. I was talking to a colleague of mine, and she was just indicating that it's really gotten bad sometimes because even attorneys and the judge can tell.
I heard
when you are using these things and you're not even making sure that it's current law.
It's a real case or
you're not
real
even making
precedent.
Sure that it's real case, real precedent. It may sound good, and I even I was at court a couple of days ago, and a client who was not represented by an attorney. You could tell that they were on AI and they were quote different stats. And I was like, that ain't even for real. Right? I was thinking to myself, and they were just going at it. And the judge was looking like, and the judge just let her talk. The judge just let her talk. But this was the thing about it, though. She didn't even actually need it. The judge ended up ruling in her favor anyway because of the real legal stuff that the other side didn't do.
Yeah.
So the other side did not have the things attached to the motion that they were supposed to, right?
Yeah.
So the judge was going to... So the judge probably had it already dismissed. She did not have an attorney. The judge had already had it where he was going to rule in her behalf. But she spent like 15 minutes just talking about rattling things off. She was basically telling the judge he didn't have jurisdiction under this statute. She was going on and on about how this is an appeal and how this has been a miscarriage of justice. I mean, she was using all these buzzwords that did not fit.
That's like going that's like going in the holy courtroom without your advocate.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And the Bible says we have an advocate
we
to
have,
the Father,
come
right?
on, because you don't know everything, but he does.
He does. He knows all things,
and
right?
And so you trying to rattle off the word of God. You trying his word.
Right.
You trying to word out, and you don't know how to use it properly.
Exactly. And you're not able to penetrate the heart.
Oh,
with
my
people
goodness.
Because you don't have the person that is there and able to do that.
The one who wrote it in the first place.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, praise God that the judge. I don't know if the judge gave him mercy.
Yeah, I believe the judge,
and
because
grace.
the judge could have just pretty much held her in contempt of court because she was really out of line with the things that she was really saying.
Okay,
that she
so
didn't
he did
even
give her some
realize.
mercy and some
he
grace.
did give her some grace, because
Yeah.
he could have just been like, held her in contempt and made her even pay a fine, because she was just basically rattling off things, and she was saying that the case was an appeal.
Yeah.
And he had already had his clerk look it up,
Yeah.
and it was not.
Yeah.
He was just like, I don't know which one you're referring to, but the one that
Aw.
was there was dismissed.
Yeah.
And it was just like, but you could
Listen.
tell that she didn't really even have to do all of that. Had she had a proper advocate,
Right.
they would have told her to make sure that you don't say anything.
Yeah, it's to
right?
protect. It's the attorney is to protect you.
Yes.
Because we don't know, and ignorance, lack of knowledge, is not a reason to find in your favor.
It's not an excuse. And
Right.
another hole in your bag, and I was talking to my paralegal about this today, was not telling your attorney everything. Right?
Trying
Things
to
are
manipulate
protected
the situation.
based on attorney-client privilege.
Yeah,
Right? So
yeah.
whatever you tell me is I can't disclose it anyway.
Right.
But just getting to court, the most frustrating things for attorneys is getting to court and your client didn't tell you the whole story, and you hear it
And you
from
find out
opposing
about-
counsel
Yeah,
or from the court.
Yeah.
The real facts.
I can't protect you.
And we can't make up facts.
Yeah.
We have to deal with the facts that you give us.
Right.
But if I don't know,
Right. Yeah.
I can't properly defend. So that was just a note from the peanut gallery. Make sure if you have an attorney, disclose everything.
Yeah. Okay. That's
That's
good
another way to
advice.
secure the bag.
Right.
to make sure you have a bag, right?
So when it comes to your career, your job, and we talked about, so I love this this future jobs report. We'll be sure to put it in the show notes.
Yeah, let's do
so
that.
So that you can look up your industry and see what kind of career choices or jobs can be sustained in the future.
Yes.
Right?
And then also, like we talked about before, making sure that if you are in an industry that maybe is not thriving or maybe is not, be open to change. And second of all, make sure that you have met with the dream team to figure out if there is some ways that you can secure the money that you have right now.
Yeah.
i.e. some type of investments, i.e. some type of budgeting, some type of plan.
Right.
For if you plan on just saying, okay, I just want to retire. I don't even want to learn this new stuff. There's people that are just like, I don't even want to do that.
I'm as far as I want to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But are you prepared for if your job is phased out? Are you prepared for if you have to, if they're asking you to pivot and you don't want to pivot? Are you prepared financially?
Yeah.
Do you have a bag that will allow you to be able to sustain yourself?
Yeah.
If that happens as well, because
True.
people may not want to pivot.
Yeah. But people have to know that when you are, I know that change is hard. It's one of the things that you can guarantee is that change is inevitable.
It is.
Right?
It is.
And when you do shift and when you do pivot, as you talked about, you make yourself more marketable.
You do.
Even if you have been in your careers, some 20, 30 years, when you do, as we were talking about on the podcast last night.
Yes.
That was fun, by the way.
That was fun.
As we were talking about last night, the what you take with you, you may retire from a job, from experience with all of this wealth of knowledge that they can't replace. It would take like 5 people, 2 to 3 to 5, 4 or 5 people to do everything you used to do. Not only because of the knowledge that you have, the wealth of knowledge that you have of how we got to where we are today,
Right.
but because of your ethic, because of how you show up, because of how you cover, because of how you're a team player, because of your outlook and all those things. And so you really don't lose your attractiveness, if especially when you can continue to shift with the industries.
And that's true. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people just think that it's over. But even like we talked about consulting, there are things that you can actually still offer. There are things that you can, if you are open to being that teachable person in order to be able to shift.
Yeah.
And it may not look like what you've done before.
Right.
But a lot of times you can't get what you haven't experienced unless you're willing to change and shift. Yeah.
And so when people say, okay, I'm just going to I got a job, but I'm going to get multiple streams of income. Mm-hmm. So that's where that passive income also comes into play. So you can have multiple bags.
Yes, you can have multiple bags.
Yeah.
And making sure that if one bag has a hole in it,
or it's not enough,
or it's not enough in that bag, then you have the other streams. That multiple streams is very important. I don't think that you should always put your full confidence in one bag.
All your eggs, in one basket.
I don't think you should.
And I think that's also connected to the person who is you may retire from your career job, and you find yourself being a consultant, and so you may have Social Security as one source of income. You may have your IRA to supplement your income, and maybe you need a little more, and so now you pick up some consulting or something like that to add another source of income.
Right.
Yeah.
And just not being afraid to do that, not being afraid to pivot and shift I think that's what we're trying to drive home to people, that, understanding that you may have more than one bag, but also understanding that if you have this one bag, don't be afraid to get another one.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to get another one, because you can shift, and that's one way of protecting what you have. Right?
Yeah, definitely. So, so I think that the biggest thing that you can do for yourself during this season is get some financial literacy.
It is.
Right. Get some understanding of how to set up your accounts. How to what kinds of things you should be doing, because if you're working a job and you are getting W-2 income, and then now you go to consulting, or you start doing a side hustle, or you start driving for Uber or door dashing or hop, skip, jump. I think that's the name of it.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! I just found out about that last week. This is like a Uber for the school system.
For the school system.
Yes. I just heard about that. Like, I love the innovation.
Right.
But they call that gig economy. But these are two different types of income streams.
And you do have to be able to shift, because I remember reading this article about how Blockbuster never shifted.
No.
Right? How the company, and we all remember
I saw
how
it.
Blockbuster
I
used
saw
to be.
it with
but
my own eyes.
I remember when Netflix used to be in the grocery store. Do you remember that?
I do.
How they used to have the
red
vending
box.
machine.
What is the red box?
Vending machine.
Yes.
And people were just like, that's not go streaming. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like streaming though. But see, not being able to pivot and not being able to making sure that you're keeping up with what's happening.
Yeah.
Now can
I'm laughing.
provide that hole in that bag, or that you not being able to progress, because they ended up going out of business because they weren't able to pivot. They were
and
just
they
like, everybody's gonna keep on bringing these videos back. Right?
You thought you were the sun and that the solar system revolved around you,
and that everybody was gonna keep on doing that.
No, oh my God! And I'm laughing because I don't know. I remember I used to go to the Blockbuster in the neighborhood, and I started seeing less and less movies on the shelf. I never got into the red box thing, but I would see people. I would go to people's, family members' homes, and they would have videos, and you go put them back in the vending machine or whatever that was. But I'm laughing because it just made me think about when I got my first cell phone. My husband got us a pair of cell phones, and I never would turn mine on.
Why?
Because the way my mind works is, this is my phone, and I turn it on when I need to make a call, like if I have an emergency.
But you didn't want anybody to call you on it?
I didn't even think about it. Prior to me getting this phone last week, for the past 25 years, 30, 25, I think I was probably 25, 27, and maybe 25, we had to be about 25. For the past 25 years, you called me at the house, on the house. If someone called me, they will call me on the house phone. No one called me when I'm outside the house. So he gave me this phone, and I guess the most I thought of it as was like a pager, like maybe you could go to the you could like to let me know.
Phone booth.
When I turn it on, I can see that I got a call, and I call you back when I get home or something. Ain't that crazy? But so he told me, he was like, babe, turn the phone on so I can call you. I'm like, why would you want to call me? You see me when I get home.
But see, now
I had to shift.
Yeah, but now we have our phone with us all the time. But that was that shift, So I think that what we're trying to say is that making sure that you shift, making sure that ultimately that you do things to make sure that you keep the bag, and then that you keep it going, by the estate planning that we talked about.
Yeah.
Talking about making sure that you keep it going from generation to generation.
Right.
And making sure that you're making sound financial decisions once you actually obtain that income that keeps coming in. That keeps coming in.
And I wanna go back to this because I don't want to forget to I don't want to neglect saying this, because this is one of my, I'm not gonna say pet peeves, but one of the things that I advocate for. Can't say it enough. I was talking about the W-2 and the 1099 income. And so you may be used to receiving W-2 income, you get a paycheck or what have you. But when you get the gig economy or consulting, now you're 1099, you're getting money that has never been taxed, right? So the best thing you could do is to either set up that LLC, open up that bank account in the name of your LLC, and keep all those expenses associated with that consulting contract together, with the gig you got, door dashing, with whatever it is that you have, making sure that you separate it, and then everything that you spend out of that account needs to be electronic. So that's your paper trail. That's your paper trail, because I don't know about your accountant, but my accountant don't want to see me coming with no paper receipts.
Not
you hear
me?
You better not.
Excel sheet, ledger, something to explain what's happening with this account.
And if you're sophisticated enough, you're using tools like QuickBooks or what have you, you can add your accountant as a third party, and they can not only reconcile your accounts, but do everything on a monthly basis. And then when it comes time to file your taxes, it's just, hey, sign here, because they already got all the data.
Right, exactly. So it makes it a lot easier. So, just making sure that, how can I get it back?
Yeah.
The real answer is earn more, protect it, grow it, and pass it on.
Yeah. All right. That passive income. I love it. All right. Cool. Well, I guess this is it for this show.
Yes. I hope that you've learned how can I get it back.
Yeah.
Through this episode. We hope that this has provided you with strategies on how to get it back, and then making sure that when you get a bag, or if you think that you have a bag, make sure that you contact the Dream Team.
All right, that's right. Put us on your team. We got great tools too.
We do.
We have great tools. I have this course that I have been releasing and promoting called the Cash Flow Control course.
Yes.
And one day I want to really, really get into it. But we have the tools, we have worksheets, we have checklists, we have all kinds of things that can help you build, sustain your bag.
Those are things that we need. We need those things on a daily basis. A lot of times we think that we don't need them, but we need them.
All right. Well, we are signing out.
Yes. Well, I'm attorney Urenia Ricks-Johnson.
Yep. And I'm Erica Hall. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.